Welcome, everybody. It's episode 171. Tom's here. I'm here. Chat should be populating shortly. We're getting into it. We're talking hardcore colubrid action today with Tom. Tom, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. And you?
Awesome. I like talking colubrids. It's more fun than lots of things. Anyway, vetdna.com. Please use REL for all of your testing needs. If you have to test for crypto, please use the crypto panel and you can get $5 off. So a $25 panel, $5 off if you use code #shithappens to test for crypto in your colubrids. It's important. Oops, I lost chat. Okay, there we go. Now, on to the sponsors. We love our sponsors. Shane Kelley, Small Town Xotics. I don't think I got an update from him. Whoops. He breeds hognose, ball pythons. He's working on boas. He has Mexican Black Kings. He's doing his thing in Tennessee. I don't know his next show. Probably the next ARPE in Charlotte would be the next official show. So please check out Shane. I think he posted a new Arctic albino female hog if anybody's interested in that on Morph Market. Thank you, Shane. Small Town Xotics. Eileen, Bravo Zulu Ball Python. She's our veteran women breeder. We love that. And she has a busy November coming up. She'll be at the Midwest Reptile Show at the Indiana State Fairgrounds on November 3rd. She'll be at St. Louis NARBC on the 8th through the 10th and the Show Me Show in Fort Wayne, Indiana on November 16th. So check her out for Dominican Red Mountain Boa talk. Not production yet, just talk, and ball pythons and resin art from her boo. Thank you, Bravo. Oh yeah, happy Halloween. I forgot. How did I forget? It's crazy. Justin, Stoneage Ball Pythons. He is living his best life breeding clown pied project animals in the Pacific Northwest. Please check him out. I don't think he has any new availability on Morph Market yet, but it should be coming. He'll probably be in the what's the next Packmore show? Probably the January one. And Andrew, Powerhouse Pythons. He's a ball python, leopard gecko, rodent, gopher, cocoa, and other fun stuff breeder from the Pacific Northwest. He's going to be on the auction on November 9th on this channel at night, slinging ball pythons. And I know they're doing Palm Street auctions all day at St. Louis, and I was like, maybe we should cancel because it's too much. But then I know at least at this point Anthony said he was still in, so we're gonna still try and see what happens. So if anybody wants to turn out and support a sponsor of the Holdback Reg, I would love that. Thank you. Gray Family Snakes, he just posted a update video on his Instagram and YouTube of receiving two, pretty sure they were Easter in Tanzania. They are delicious to look at. So congratulations, Roger and Lori, on the new pickup. Very cool. So check out those videos if you haven't seen them yet. They're so beautiful when they're adults and when they're babies too. That's just like the color change is crazy. And then Chris at BS Reptilia, he's our main Pituophis guy around here. So he is at the Gettysburg Reptile Expo on November 9th. So if you need a pine snake in your life, which I know you do, please check him out. And then if you need something specific, I don't think his Morph Market is updated yet. Maybe message him because he has Tarahumaras and Costa Ricans, boas, of course, some ball pythons, and lots of pits. So, Tom, we're here. Yes. I did it. All right. Introduce yourself, please.
Yes, ma'am. My name's Tom Kelty. Myself with my wife, Lori. We are Kelty's Colubrids. Our story's a little bit different. I am not a reptile person from the time that I was a kid. I am a convert. I was somebody that used to think the only good snake was a dead snake. I do admit it. However, due to the wonders of the internet and watching videos and everything else, it piqued my interest, and I started with corn snake.
Who was the like video creator that you thought was the most?
To be honest with you, I think most of it started just from like a local Oklahoma snake identification thing on Facebook.
Oh, that's cool.
And just seeing some of the local snakes, and then I think I have a tendency to kind of go down wormholes. Once something piques my interest, I'll start going on and Wikipedia and different. I can't think of any YouTube or individual person that kind of sparked it, but I just kind of got interested in the corn snakes and in the fact that they were super easy, great starter snake kind of thing, and so the ball just kind of rolled from there. So,
what native Oklahoma snake like? We were like, wow, that's so cool.
Well, I like they were talking, I mean, on the identification sites, they were talking, identifying just the Western rat snakes, the rattlers, the Western diamondbacks, the timbers, the pygmies, stuff like that. And that kind of just sparked my interest in snakes. And obviously, I do like the hot stuff. I never keep hot stuff just simply because there's just too many chances, and I have young grandkids that are around my house. So, but things like the copperhead, that's probably my favorite hot to see. I just think they're super beautiful. And so, starting from there, it just kind of snowballed into, well, what can I keep if I don't want to, keep hots, and still being somebody new to snakes, I still had some reservations about stuff, but through reading and researching and stuff, I found the corn snake, red rat, is a great starter, and they're super easy to handle and super chill. So it kind of started there.
Do you have good herping out your way? Like, do you go out now?
I don't go out now. I do know some folks that do. I do know that if you go out to like Turkey Mountain here in Tulsa, I know that there's a lot of they tend to have a lot of copperheads and stuff out there, so you got to be careful. But I haven't gotten out and gone. Some of the fellow breeders that are around the area have gotten out and gone, so I've told them one of these times I want to get out and go with them. So
yeah, it is. It's gosh, so it's a different kind of fun, herping in general, because you're like, I don't like, you could spend all day sweating in the sun,
right.
And you're like, we did it, we got a Texas rat or something, and you're like, was it really that exciting? Yes, because you like did all this work and there was all this hype, and then like you're surprised, so it's like very novel. I don't know, it's definitely a different, it's like, it's why, like, even though I don't hunt anything, to me it's the same thing. You get all this like, you get up early in the morning, you sit in your tree stand all day, and you're waiting for your buck, and you think about it, you tell stories about how many points it had and what the tines are doing. It's the same thing.
I do watch videos, and actually my grandkids now will watch them with us. I do watch some of the herping videos on YouTube with like Noah and NKF herping, and Will Robertson, something like that. But yeah, they go out, and it is fun to watch. I mean, I could definitely see the allure to it. So it'd be worth trying.
Yeah. Belinda, I'm not sure what this question means, so ask it again in a way that I understand it. Stats on all the shows that go on in the country, like just a list of all the shows. All right. So you have corn snakes. That's where it started, but you've expanded. What other species do you keep?
We have. So I started with a corn snake. I got my first one, believe it or not, it was right around just before COVID, I think. So around 2020, I got my first corn snake. My wife liked the hognose snakes, so she had ended up picking up a hognose. So those were our first two species that we've had, and those have just our collection's grown and grown and grown. There, just like everybody says, you get one, then you need all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we have lots of corn snakes started with those. Got hognose. I have some alterna, some gray banded king snakes.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bamboo rat snake now. I have a ball python. I got a bearded dragon now, but I've had a bull, or not a bull snake, a gopher snake for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a little bit of everything, but our main focus of our collection now is corn snakes and hognose primarily, and then I have one breeding pair of gray banded king snakes that we breed each year. So,
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like, I mean, a lot of people, there's like a hognose hype. Do you feel like hognoses sell better for you at the shows that you do?
there's
Or
a
are they
lot of
sort of too expensive, and so corn snakes sort of outcompete on price?
well, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, like everybody talks about, your shows are mainly ball python dominate. So we're one of we're either the only or one of just a few breeders that expand outside of the ball python and boa realm. There is a lot of uh, hype for the hognose. A lot of people see them, they love them, they fall in love. They want a hognose, and then unfortunately, they come and they see what they priced at. And a lot of, I mean, we do sell some, but the higher end stuff, it's a little bit harder to move. It takes somebody special for it. But yeah, there's definitely a lot more hype for hognose than there is for our corn snakes or our king snakes. So.
Mm-hmm. What do you think we need to do to trick everyone into realizing that corn snakes are equally cool to hognose?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer to that. I wish I did, because corn snakes are great snakes for somebody that's starting out. They don't stay tiny. They don't get huge like some of the boas and stuff like that. They stay thin bodied.
Mm-hmm.
Their temperaments are amazing. I mean, I think when we do go to the shows and do shows, we like to talk, especially with the kids and stuff, and when we can, just kind of give them education. I mean, I've given away books, some of the books, corn snake books, to young breeders, or not young breeders, young keepers, or people that are interested in snakes, and just make sure that they're aware that those options are out there. It doesn't have to be a ball python or bust, or nothing against ball pythons, but so it's a different snake. It's got a different attitude. They don't just sit there. They're a little more active. So they can be a little more exciting. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know the magic answer. If I was, I wouldn't have a rack of corn snake babies left right now.
Yeah, it is interesting how things seem to go in like cycles. And so then you're like, well, you can see a cycle coming where there are too many hognose in air quotes.
Right.
And maybe some people are thinking like that wouldn't be too many. But then like I see people complain about show composition every day on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I get it. I get it. But then like if you were to bring something truly rare, nobody buys it. And so those people aren't
Yep.
incentivized to come back. And then if you bring something cheap and attractive, people don't buy that. So it's like they crave everything in the world but buy nothing. And so then you just sort of you just make the decisions for your collection yourself because you just like it. So you're just like, I
Yeah.
just like it. So that's what I'm gonna bring.
I mean, unfortunately, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I can't tell you how many shows, I can't sell a corn snake for $40 at
Mhm.
at a show. I have hognose. I mean, lower and normal hognose, between 150 and $200. And we have them at the shows and everybody's interested. But like you said, you bring them and you sit there all day, and you don't have any, nobody everybody comes by and talks about, oh, I love hognose, I love, the da da da, and but nobody picks anything up. So, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously it's like partially like how much spending money people have, and so they'll come to your table and like engage with you and like gush about your product, but they never really wanted to buy anything to begin with. So like it can be like unnecessarily demoralizing because like they were never your buyer anyway.
Right, right.
Right, but it's okay. Melinda asks, what are the numbers of people that walk through the doors of shows? I wish they would publish that. They're never going to.
Yeah, no, I know which surprisingly enough, the last show that we did up here in Broken Arrow is typically a real slow show. But the last time we were there, the foot traffic was really good. Probably busier than I've ever seen it. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, it'd be nice if they did publish some sort of numbers on it, but, I don't, number wise, I don't know. I mean, I kind of judge it by, how busy we are, talking or versus just sitting there. So,
Yeah, and sometimes it's a show. Okay, so a show with like a low door, like 800 people for a weekend, can actually still be very good if the vendor
mhm.
balance is right. Like, if it's 15
Sure.
vendors and they all have a different inventory, so they're not competing for the same dollar, 800 could make everybody do good. So
Yeah, I
sometimes
mean,
it's
and it's
not. Go ahead.
you just never know. No, you just never know. We've had some shows that, where the foot traffic was not the best, that we actually did really well at versus, some that are super, super high traffic and we don't do so well. It's so weird. Sometimes, it could be great. And then this next show at the same place, it could be completely dead. So
Mhm.
just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, oh gosh. I did a lot of shows last year, and I'm coming around to, like, my favorites maybe, and
Mhm.
I might just do those this year. Where are you at on that? Like, do you do mostly close ones, or have you tried further away ones?
We started doing shows and we just did the ones that were, pretty much local to Tulsa. And then we did one back in February up in Bartlesville, which that's an hour north of Tulsa, but it's still fairly close. And that's all we had really primarily focused on was just the ones, real close to us. Now this year we've picked up, we signed up and we were going to do the Oklahoma City Show Me show. And then the following weekend, we are doing a show here in Tulsa, and we're also doing a show up in Springfield, Missouri. So, and we
Mhm.
did one in Fort Smith, Arkansas, a couple weeks ago. So we've primarily started local, but we've kind of branched out a little bit.
I
Trying to get our
saw
name
you
out
at the
a little more.
Shawnee
That
2
was,
years ago? 1 year
yeah,
ago?
yeah. I think it was it last year? Last year or the year before? Yeah, we were at Shawnee. I am signed up for. I did get onto the wait list for the Herp show. I just with I just never know what my stock availability is going to be. So
Mhm.
with so many shows queued up in the books, I just didn't know if I was going to have the stock to do the show me show or the Herp show. So, but I am on the wait list for it, so we'll see. So,
Yeah, that one's hard for Colubrid sales to me.
yeah,
Maybe the hardest.
yeah.
And I
When we vended it the first time, we did. I think we sold a couple snakes, but that was one of our first shows that we did. So it was kind of more getting our name out there kind of thing. But I can totally see where it could be tough for. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, it's just to that's a show where I think there are way too many vendors, and, like, Glades comes up, brings all kinds of extra corn snakes. There's multiple, like, flipper wholesale type people with corn snakes. So it's like I'm lucky to sell 1 or 2 corn snakes at that show.
Now,
Nice.
I did hear a rumor that they are looking at cutting back on the number of vendors at the Herp show. So we'll see
Good.
if that's going to come up or not. I mean, yeah, it's the Herp show in Shawnee is just crazy. I mean, it's wall to wall people and you know, almost no room to do anything because there's so many vendors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good show, I guess, for people coming there because it's like maximum competition for their dollar. But then a lot of the species that you're like, well, I need to be the only person selling this weird species there. They struggle really hard at that show. Like there was a cave gecko guy. He was cool. Bless his heart, right? He didn't sell anything. I'm like, your animals are cool. They're just being outcompeted by all of the other animals here.
Right. Yeah, it's so weird sometimes that, you know, what does sell versus what doesn't on some places, you know.
Mm-hmm. So what corn snake projects are you working currently?
I have this year I'm hoping to have some palmettos. And then I have some nice charcoals that I got. The stock came out of Germany on those. Those are really nice charcoal montleys. And then I have a couple scaleless, or I have a scaleless project going. And then most of the other is either just you know, some normal aneries, AML type stuff that gets thrown out. So.
Mm-hmm. So you're not like a cinder acolyte? I feel like everybody
No,
is, but
no, no. I don't think I think I have one snake that's posset cinder, but that's the only one that I have. So.
Mhm. It's definitely it's a personal bias, I think. But like it felt like for a while every new collection was very cinder heavy, but then like the further afield I go, the more I'm like, oh, not really. You know, people have their own taste and there's all kinds of
Sure,
stuff going on.
sure.
Very
Yeah,
cool. Do you think are you excited about black diamonds?
I think they're interesting. I kind of like stuff that's got a little more variety to it versus a single color, you know, type. Um,
Mhm.
you know, I recently had picked up a leucistic hognose, and I got it, and then I was like, yeah, I don't think this is something I want to pursue, just because I mean, there's so much with color and patterns, that I think they just make things a lot more eye popping. I do think it's the black diamonds and an interesting looking, you know, snake and
Mhm.
interesting more, but I don't think it's something that I would look at.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, good for you. Like you said, you like stick to your guns. I'm just like, I feel like we could combo that for a long time and make interest, even if they're like monochromatic.
Right.
But yeah, if somebody wants to sell me one, sign me up. Do you think you know, how Junior's like he's like Arctic or maybe super Arctic Lucy's and gotten like those weird like pink patches of scales? Do you think that makes a difference to you?
I I mean, it does change it a little bit, so where it's not just, you know, your plain basic white type snake. I don't know, and I mean, I haven't messed with it. Obviously, I just picked up my leucistic. I mean, and it can be mixed in with some stuff, but I just don't know. I don't see um, a lot of possibilities with it. I mean, I do see, like you said, with the pink stuff. Will, you know, I guess it'll all just have to see how it plays out and
Mhm,
you know, what it looks like availability wise, because I mean, you know, even the leucistics right now are crazy expensive. So
mhm,
um I mean, then again, you know, you're coming back into the realm of, you know, what can you sell. It's great if you can make it, but you got to be able to, you know, move it. So
mhm. Do you
it
have
doesn't do anything for me.
yeah, do you have a het, Lucy?
I do. I have a leucistic female. She's a 2024 baby, and then I picked up a before I decided that leucistic wasn't the way I wanted to go. I picked up a het Lucy male that's 2022. So
hmm do you think a lot of the Lucy morphs, the heterozygous form is hypo? Do you think that's true in hognoses, or does it not seem that way?
it's mine. It looks a little. My male looks a little bit different. I can't tell whether it's really a hypo or if it's just kind of. I mean, he's a normal het Lucy, so I can't really. Like I can't nail down what it is. It's a little bit different on him.
hmm
If it's just a variation in the normal that you see sometimes, or if it's more of a hypo look. I'm not sure on.
Yeah, it is interesting. And then like maybe if it gives you hope, like the Superfire boa, which is all white, with IMG, which is like a darkening gene, gets
Uh-huh.
speckles. So it's possible, like maybe a Swiss
Wow.
chocolate Lucy might
Right.
actually do
Right.
something, or a sable Lucy.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's definitely a possibility.
So don't give up hope.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I've put her up for sale, and
Oh,
we'll
you
see
did?
how it goes.
You already
Yeah,
committed?
yeah,
Man, brother.
I already put her up for sale. So, but we'll see. I mean, I've had people ask, but same thing. I mean, at the price of them on them, people are wanting to trade or do something else. So I haven't
Mhm.
committed completely yet. I've had some folks reach out with some trade offers that seem pretty good, but we'll see if I can sell her first.
Well, if you did sell her, what would you parlay those funds into? Like, are you interested in Swiss chocolate or?
Man, I would the Swiss chocolate. Right now, I've got quite a few Sables projects kind of started, and I never really thought that I would care much for them because they're just brown. I mean, but
Mhm.
seeing them in person, they're just absolutely beautiful. So I maybe Swiss chocolate, maybe something. One of the people that offered, threw out some trade offers, had some Mai Tais,
Mhm.
so maybe something like that.
Yeah. Sable to me is more additive than what it seems like it should be. It's like it feels multiplicative. Like it adds green and a weird yellow undertone, and there's pink cheeks, and there's so much
Yeah,
stuff going on polygenically too, and it's very reactive. That's where I think the Sable game and Swiss chocolate is like, what sort of variants of a Mai Tai can you make?
right,
like, is it going to be pink with like blushed peach, or is it going to be orange with red side? Like there's all those versions.
for
That
sure.
part's fun, so fun.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be real interesting to see how we can go with that. So,
Eric says
um,
hi.
hello.
Westmoreland.
Oh, Moreland. Hey,
Yeah.
hello, Ray. So,
And Corky said he doesn't like dead end products either. Yeah, I totally understand. But I think maybe sometimes you can be surprised. Like with the IMG Superfires. Maybe. Who knows though?
yeah, I mean, if you can mix it and it does come, you do end up, getting something like you said with speckles or something like that, then that changes the game completely. Then it doesn't, it takes away from possibly being a dead end project to, a new
hmm
thing. So.
So for your king snake collection, are you looking to add more species or more of the individuals of the same species? Or are you happy just having a pair and
No, I think I'm happy with a pair. I had more. I actually had two breeding pairs, and then I was working on a third, um, and I had lost a female. So actually, Westmoreland took my male that I had in there that was a hypo gray band, and then I had sold off another pair. I have hands filled with the hognose, trying to get them to eat sometimes,
Mhm.
the babies. And my first go round with the gray bands, I had ones that it took me about 6 months before I was able to get them eating. So
Did you
um,
try lizard?
I've tried. I not actually live lizard. I had some lizard parts I had tried. I've tried the anoles. I tried most of the tricks in the book. So this year I had a couple more. I had a couple that ate pretty good right off the rip in the clutch I had, but I've still got two that have no interest. So
They are so beautiful, though.
they are. That's why I mean the two that I have are two of the first ones I had, and so I'll keep them. And normally the clutch I get 6 to 8 eggs out of them, so it's not it's not a huge clutch, and I'll keep breeding them, and beat my head against the wall for a couple months until they decide to eat. So
Have you thought about like captive breeding any of the parthenogenic gecko species and just being like, you guys are too beautiful to starve yourselves to death, so here's a gecko and here's a gecko.
I have not. I have not. That's a lie. I've thought about it. I
Or even
haven't.
our
I
house
haven't.
geckos that are outside, just like grab a couple of them, bring them inside so they like don't have worms anymore, and then you can just
Yeah, yeah. I've thought about it for sure. Trust me, I've thought about it. So, but no, I just they eat tails until they decide they want to eat. So
gosh. Yeah. It's hard. At least I don't know. I mean, to corn snakes' credit, which is probably why they're so numerous and popular, most of them start fine. If they don't,
yeah,
like a live pinky is a good start, you
yeah,
know. And you
yeah.
have like 30 of them, redundant ones. So if one of them doesn't want to join civilization, it's okay. You have
Right,
30.
right. For sure. Yeah, I mean for sure. I've got one corn snake baby right now that I don't know if they're going to make it, but it's yeah. I mean it's the majority of them eat and eat just fine. So uh, it makes
Have
things
you
much
tried
easier.
like a little brumation?
I have not yet. I did see. I don't know where it was, but I did see actually Eric Westmoreland had talked about um, throwing them in the fridge for
Well, that's Eric who's saying it. I guess you can't see the comments.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I saw Eric. I did see your mention about the brumation and throwing them in the fridge. I just haven't done it yet. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely something to consider.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Like I had a Diane's rat snake that didn't want to start. I put it in the fridge and it came back out and it still didn't want to eat. And it just recently passed. So like,
Now,
something might
now
have
it's
been
really mad
internally
because
wrong with it all along. Oh. So you're into bamboo rats. What species?
yeah, I'm not sure which species it is. The
Okay.
bamboo rat. I picked it up. It was one of our uh, other folks here around town had one, and I had traded some some babies for a couple babies for it. So I think it's one of like the Thai bamboo.
Oh,
The,
cockseye.
yeah,
Yeah.
cockseye.
Yeah,
Um,
they're cool. Would you like what do you think about Asian stuff? Because they usually they tend to be a little rarer, a little bit pricier. So then like, but there's less competition. Would
yeah, I mean, I think it's a really cool. I mean, snake. I mean, and they're the fact that you keep them at room temp, and they're pretty darn easy.
Mhm.
You don't see them much, um,
You
but
have a tub of substrate
yeah, it's
or whatever.
kind of like a sandboa or something. But yeah, they're definitely neat. I do like they are a little spicier attitude. Um,
Mhm.
but I kind of liked a lot of the old world stuff. Like the Vietnamese blue beauties. I think those are gorgeous snakes. Um, they just yeah, like you said, they're definitely a little more rare. You don't see them around very much.
Mhm.
They just tend to get a little on the bigger side. Uh, Most of them anyway.
Well, I mean, I would like to sing the praises of Dion's rat snakes real quick because they're a smaller Asian colubrid, and they come in lots of colors, and they're very fun. And most people don't even care about them at all. So,
And what were those again?
Dion's rat snakes.
Diane's rat snakes. Huh. I don't know.
A lot of people are like, I like they want a blue beauty or something. And I have Japanese rat snakes and Russians and Anomala, and those are all cool, but they are bigger. So I think they deserve like a minimum 4x2x2. But like Diones and Bimax twin spotteds, they're small. So like someone's like, I just have a 20 long. Great. It's fine. they only get like my adult male, he's 4 years old. He's like this big. He's like hognose size. So cute.
See, I mean, and that's something that's different. It's not, something that everybody has, and it's obviously much easier to keep for most folks if you don't have to commit to that big tank or big enclosure.
Yeah, they're a lot like a bamboo rat, but they like bask out in the open. They're really outgoing. So they're like a little corn snake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Every time I talk to anybody about it, I'm just like, listen, what you need in your life is Dion's rat snake. And the only thing that's made bad and good is they don't lay very many eggs. Sometimes 3.
Oh, wow.
5. And so you're like, well, this is my whole production of the year.
I think the bamboo rats do the same thing, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah. Because they go all in. They're like, this egg is going to be huge. And in Diones, they sort of incubate internally a long time. So their incubation time outside of the mother is only like 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like, I'm going to take care of these babies a ton inside and then lay them and then they hatch. So like, that's all very cool biology part. But I just love like the tiniest corn snake, but they're born big, so they can still eat a pinky, even though the adults aren't very big. Does that make sense? Nice. There's so many perks here.
For sure. Yeah. Well, I'll have to look.
Right, Quirky. The Dione prices on Morph Market now maybe are not market rate. Just they don't have to be $800. They can be cheaper than that. Just gotta look around. That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
like, I'm gonna sell mine for $800. I don't think anybody wants them for $800. $300 max. That's all. All right. So, what did we miss? Did we miss anything else in your collection?
No, let's see. Trying to think it.
Besides, you're like. So was the ball python something where you got tricked into, or were you into it?
No. See, this is the danger of shows, because I go to shows and I have a thirst for knowledge. I always like to. I mean, I'm constantly absorbing whatever is around me, and so I like to go. I really enjoy the shows because I get to talk with people. And I mean, I've learned stuff about geckos, and because I sat next to somebody that had geckos, I've learned about air plants because the guy next to me was selling air plants. And at one of the shows earlier, the one up in Bartlesville this year, the guy next to me had ball pythons, and so we were just talking ball pythons, and he had one I thought would look super cool. So yeah, now I have a ball python.
Are you going to start a ball python breeding empire?
Yeah, so it was. Sorry. So now I have my one.
Yeah, that's fine. No, they're cool. They're actually like have their own cool, weird biology behaviors, mannerisms that I think is interesting too. It's just a lot of people, overlook.
Oh, for sure. I definitely enjoy him. I mean, he's gotten big enough now, so I'll take him out and put him around my neck or whatever while I'm wandering around, doing other stuff, and he just chills and hangs out. So I don't think it's something that I want to get into breeding, but it's neat to have.
All right. Did you do both Bartlesville shows? Because there was a spring one and a summer one.
I did do both ones. And then they did the one down there. Same folks did the one down there in Wichita Falls. I did. Right,
I did that one.
You did that one. How was that? Was it?
So, I mean, so it was fine to me, partially because like I didn't have to pay for a hotel.
Right,
You know?
right. You're fairly close.
Yeah, and then but I don't think it wasn't like a huge door, and the power went out on Sunday for like 3
Oh,
hours.
I did hear that. Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
their fault, but we were just sitting in the dark going like
right. Now what?
I did sell a corn snake in the dark though, a snow
There
corn.
you go. There you go. Yeah, the Bartlesville shows have been pretty good because they, being an hour north of Tulsa, um, I was actually surprised they pulled in quite a few people out of Kansas. I wasn't surprised at, but they pulled in quite a few folks out of Arkansas too. So
Interesting.
it was pretty decent. So
Uh Corky asks, what do you think the price limit should be for a table as a breeder who mostly focuses on colubrids? And so your price point isn't necessarily like
I think most I'm happy. I'm happy for tables. I mean, at $50 to $60 a table for me is fine.
for a
I
one
will
day
put
show or a 2 day show?
just a one day.
Mhm.
Because most of the ones we do are just the one days. I do know that the one here in Tulsa's gotten really expensive lately. It's one of them's up to $120 for a one day.
For the cold blooded?
Yeah, the cold blooded.
Is that show good?
It's the
I don't know.
better of the it's the better of the two that we have up here in Tulsa. It definitely seems to get a lot more traffic in there. This last one wasn't as good as they were previously. But yeah, it tends to be a pretty good show.
Yeah. I would love to do a show in Tulsa, but I don't want to drive 4.5 hours for a one day
Yeah.
show.
I don't blame you. I saw where when Show Me was asking about stuff and you had said something about that, if they made it a 2 day, then maybe, it would be more beneficial for you. I mean, because I totally get it. I mean, that's a crazy amount of driving to have to do for a one day show.
Right. Yeah. It and it could stay a half or like a one day show if for the local community and maybe like size down to a smaller venue or something that would like fit the traffic better and so they weren't like losing money because not enough vendors showed up. That would be fine too. It's just like maybe they don't have enough vendors that want to come in.
Now this
And
this last Show Me one, they did size down because they used to have like it looked like typical hotel ballroom type thing, with the partitions, and it
mm,
was way too big for the number of vendors that showed up. So I mean, automatically when you walked in the door, you automatically thought there's nobody here. And they did downsize this time, so hopefully that makes a little bit of a difference for them. So
well, they canceled the December one.
yeah.
Do you
uh,
think do you
the
think they
November
should
one, you mean?
yeah, for Show Me. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you think they should go to 2 days and try to lure in, like, more vendors, or would you prefer it stay 1 day and even smaller? Or just give up altogether and then, like, let all the traffic go to the other shows?
No, I think I would like it to go. I think maybe instead of cut down, instead of doing it quarterly, do it like semi-annually, and then do like a 2 day show, and see
Mhm,
how that works. Because I think one, I think doing it semi-annually, you get you generate a little more people wanting something, wanting to come because there's a show, versus it'll be here in 3 months. I'll come back or whatever. And then also, like you said, that if you go to a 2 day, then it makes it a little bit better for the folks that are a little farther out. A little maybe a little more worth their while to come and
mhm.
do it as a 2 day.
Gorky says, "I think 2 day shows are a waste of time because most of the times on Sunday you get less people and the people that come back are the same people that came the day before." Sometimes that's true, but I've had Sundays that doubled Saturdays.
Yes, I've had the same. I've seen the same thing. I mean, I've seen Sundays that are slow, but I have also seen ones where the Sunday sales were pretty good as well. So
Right. And I think some of that has to do with like football games or I don't know, like there's things going on in the community that will
sure.
distract someone on a Saturday, but they're like, man, I need rats anyway. I'll go down and then they might buy something.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not always though. It's usually Saturday is better, but I've definitely like this last show, the show in Richland Hills, I did a third of it on Saturday and then 2/3 of my total sales on Sunday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it
Nice.
was a big difference.
Yeah. Now, how far is that? How far was that for you? Is that still a 1 day? I mean,
No.
or not a
Yeah.
1 day. I mean,
Basically
fairly
everything
short
I
one.
have to drive and get a hotel to
Yeah.
because I live
Yeah. No
I
way.
don't I live in Altus. It's basically a dirt clod with an
Well,
airplane on it.
I
There's
I used to live there, so I totally understand.
I know he knows. It's fine. It like the town is fine, whatever. But if this town was like transposed to somewhere with more people, just like immediately around it, you could have more some things.
Now,
But
when I lived there though, the Air Force Base was like an active uh, Air Force Base, not like a training base. So there was a lot more people, I think, there than there are now.
oh no, yeah.
So,
Eric says Schomburg and Tinley both rocked on Sunday. Yeah, I think you just can't. Sometimes it's hard to tell, and sometimes I agree. Like some shows need to be like demoted to a 1 day, and some shows like flourish better as a 2 day, and I don't know why. Yeah, there are a ton of shows, and I've driven to almost all of them, but I do prefer 2 days if I'm going to drive to them for sure. All right, do we want to talk about the December show me? Are you gonna still do it?
we are still going to do it. Yeah, we
Man,
will do
bless your
it.
heart.
Well, but we're also, I mean, we're retired and we don't have kids at home. So, for us, it's a little bit easier to get together and go. But yeah, no, I can definitely see um, where that can cause some problems for folks. I mean, it's, just a couple days before Christmas, a lot of folks are going to be, pulling, traveling and
Mhm.
whatnot for Christmas. I don't know that was the dates on that were thought through much. So
Right, and it probably had to do with availability also, but for me, like, if they're gonna reschedule it, they should reschedule it in January.
sure, yeah,
Just push it all the way or don't even or just cancel it. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The email we got definitely said that it had something to do with a conflict of dates, but yeah, I don't know that I'm with you. I think either canceling it or moving it to January probably would have been a better option.
Right, and it's okay. It's fine. Not everything works out. I just was like was floored. I was like, "Why are you moving it?" They're moving it because there's, like, a show 8 hours away north and 8 hours away south. They're on the same day, and I'm like, "Who
Yeah.
cares?" 8 hours away does it like, you might be competing for vendors, but you're not competing for customers. Those customers are not to go in.
They're not going to go 8 hours to
No.
go to a
So
show.
the local Oklahoma City people now have to wait until December 21st to go to a show, which
Yeah,
is some of them will and some of them won't. We'll see. All right, Quirky brought up crypto. Do you do any testing or have you done testing?
I have not.
Mm.
I know.
Would you be would you like to?
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in it
Okay.
and taking a look at it.
Yeah, crypto's hard to find sometimes. So a lot of people wait until they have an animal with symptoms and then they start doing it. But then like you might have killed your $3,000 Lucy.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? So that part's hard. Do you let people handle your snakes at shows? Uh, which is related to the crypto question. Because crypto
No.
oocysts, you only need like 10 oocysts to actually have like an infectable amount.
Yeah, no, typically we do not. If somebody's looking at, I mean, if they're serious about purchasing, then we will. But we have them sanitize and all that stuff. But yeah, typically, no, we don't. We don't.
Right. Yeah, the hard part is like hand sanitizer doesn't kill
Sure.
cryptoosis. So that's why I make people do gloves, but I'm like the only person in the whole earth who does that.
Gotcha. That's a good idea.
I'm just like hand sanitize, like suit up, like this is a surgery or something, and
Right.
then put on gloves, and then if you're really really interested, then you can hold them, and they're like, why? And then you explain it. The 99% of people are like, oh, okay, they don't mind, and it
Yeah.
does slow down like the kids that don't really want to or have permission to buy anything.
Right. Right. That just want to hold everything.
Right. I'm just like, well, if we're really slow, maybe you can as like an educational time. But if not, I'm
Sure.
like, yeah, it's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't sanitize your hands with hydrogen peroxide. That is correct. And then Joe says, my cases don't open for anything. There's a little bit of it that I'm comfortable with, like education wise, but a lot of times it's really hard to like manage people's expectations because a lot of them come there thinking it was literally going to be a reptile show. Like they're going to
Sure.
sit in an audience and be
Right. Show and tell. You get to hold and.
yeah. How do we solve that part where the communication isn't right?
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I think you go back to education. I mean, like you said, I mean, I think you have to explain to folks, why you don't, and the importance of doing that. I mean, because it's not, you got crypto and stuff like that, but especially with other things, you got mites and everything else, that can be passed around. So, I mean, I think the only way is to better educate folks and explain, instead of just making, no, we're not going to do that. Just, explain, I would like to, but, and just explain that, the repercussions of doing that. But
Yeah.
I mean, as far as kids go, I mean, I think kids are always going to want to hold everything.
Mhm. What about I've what about other vendors? How pedantic is it if you're just like, hey, maybe don't walk around with your sperm dribbling mites all over my table? Like, is that too much?
Right. Well, or the people that bring theirs in that are not supposed to, but they let them through the door with it.
I know there's a rule. I don't like. I are they sneaking them through the door and then they like pop them out of their shirt when they get in
Right.
there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, 95% of people are totally understanding, but I think some of the families or whatever are like, damn, I paid $10 and my kid can't touch one
Yeah.
snake. And usually there's somebody that has like a sacrificial lamb snake, so it's fine, but it's really hard. Quirky asks, how do you manage explaining that hog noses are rear fang venomous? And do you make them sign a liability waiver before they purchase?
Rico's putting me on the spot here. No, so we do explain. We did not always. We do explain to folks that that they are rear fang venomous. We do not make them sign anything. I do have signs that we have, just a simple, piece of paper typed up, explaining, the difference in their being rear fang venomous, and they're not going to kill you like a lapids would, but some people may have a reaction to it. So we do have those that we put out on our table now. We do make sure that folks are aware of that, but I do not make them sign anything. No.
And I'm pretty sure like it wouldn't be enforceable in a court of law. Anything that you could type up at home on
Oh, sure.
Word.
Sure. Right. No, for sure.
Can you hear my dog scratching at the door?
No, I cannot.
Okay, thank God. She's been scratching the door for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, I can't do anything about it.
I understand.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
Are there any other species that you're eyeing? You have your eyes on right now. You're like, man, that looks awesome. I just want to try it.
No, nothing jumps out at me right now. I'm always looking at stuff. And now you got me looking at those Dion's rat snakes. So I'll be looking at those. So, and doing my research and reading. So, but
Gosh.
nothing in general.
All right, I will get the door now because now it's like a crisis. All right, 1 second. Talk to chat real
Oh,
quick.
let's see. You're all good, Rico. I see you ask everybody. It's all good. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Would you be interested in attending Colubrid Fest?
I would actually. I would have liked to gone this year, but the weekend they had done it this year, we had just gotten back from vacation. It was like the first weekend we had gotten back from vacation, so I wasn't able to go this year. But I would like to go up and I don't know if I would vend it, but I would definitely be interested in going up and attending it. So I definitely like the thought of the speakers and stuff like that. It's always good to listen in and see what pick up new tips, tricks, learn new information. Like I said, I'm always constantly trying to absorb new info and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely something I'd like to do.
Mm-hmm. Eric says, "Get to it."
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hopefully, I don't know. They pick a location date soon. I don't know. Like there's a lot of really good new shows happening that are further and further away. So I'm like planning my year now. And I think the last one I already had a show booked for the weekend it was, but they announced it so soon before.
Right.
Yeah,
That's hopefully something will come out fairly soon with the dates, because I would definitely like to get that into my schedule and get it slated in to go. So
Any ambitions, dreams to go to Daytona or Tinley, or have you been?
I would like to go to Tinley. I also want to go down and I haven't made it down to NARBC down in Dallas yet either. I'd like to go do it as well. Again, I don't know that I want to load up all my stuff and go, but I definitely have like to go attend.
Yeah, it's big now, Dallas.
Yeah, I've seen the maps and stuff. It's crazy big size. So they've kind of changed the rules up a little bit in Dallas. I think because of the Texas laws regarding, you got to have, I guess folks have to have more than one species that they're selling now and stuff like that. So
No, I think what you're thinking about is the boa and python prohibition for the city of Dallas. You can
okay.
only
Oh,
sell
okay.
ball pythons and red tail boas, like imperator. You can't sell any other boa or python.
Gotcha.
You
Okay.
It makes it worse, strictly worse, because there's like then a lot of competition within those species that are allowed, and then everything else is banned. So it's like less fun.
Gotcha.
All right.
I thought somebody had said something to me, because I had somebody asking about picking up. Um, I think it was when I had interest in picking up some king snakes or something from me, because I thought they had to. He had said that they had to have something besides ball pythons, but maybe I misheard that. So I wouldn't. I don't
Well,
know.
there's so many tables there right now. There's no like ball python only. You mean like the show promoter says like the show promoter is not was not
Oh,
banning people from doing it, but at Tinley they are. Like if you're the ball python only person, you're on a different wait list than someone who has something
okay,
else.
okay. Maybe that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
not. It was just a waitlist thing. Okay.
Yeah, if you wanted to vend it, they have tables open now. You could like book a table. It's cool. It's just expensive to potentially
Yeah.
make. no money, right?
Yeah, I did see it was expensive,
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming
but
this
I'd like
question
to
is
go
for
down
you.
for sure.
Yeah, for you and not me. Do you ever want to vend or attend Anaheim or Pomona in California?
No, I don't have any desire to go out there.
Okay. I would, it's like 17 hours for me to Pomona. I would do it just to see like a different set of clients, like just totally different human beings. Because sometimes I feel like we're all running in the same circles in some
Sure.
ways.
Now, did you ever do any out that way when you were up in Washington?
I never went that far south.
No.
Although, like, I know people who do. They'll drive down from Washington. Because at that point, like, it was like during the pandemic time, so like sales were pretty good online still, and so you didn't need to
Gotcha.
travel that far
Right.
afield. I mean, those were the days, right? I sold like 70% online, 30% at shows, like the stuff that was cheaper and a little bit of fluff or whatever. And that was fine. It was balanced and perfect, and I would just ship it. So why would I need to go to California? But now, I don't there you can still sell stuff on Work Market, but it's a little slow. So then you're like, well, I guess I need to go hustle them at shows.
Well, and shipping's gotten crazy expensive too. So, I mean, I think that puts a damper, especially on any lower end stuff being able to
Right.
sell online because shipping costs twice as much as the snake does, or you know. So
Yeah, and I know there's lots of shipping competition now. Have you
yeah,
tried Morph Market's new shipping?
I did. I did. I've shipped. I think two with them. Um,
How did it go?
I didn't have any. I mean, it went fine. I didn't have any problems. Now, I the I don't know what I think of it. I think there's definitely you're paying less for it, but you're also getting less. I mean, their insurance right now is only limited to like $250. They don't have anything for on time arrival guarantee. Where some places, I was shipping with Redline before, and Redline, you know, if the shipment's late, you get refunded. You know minus the insurance cost or whatever. So, I mean, competition I think is good, but I think it's going to be just left to be seen how it's going to all iron out in the end. Have you done anything with supposedly UPS now is taking snakes?
I haven't tried it yet. Um, like I haven't made my own account with them. I don't know. There was like an interview where Robin and Reptiles Express in Canada, because Reptiles Express in Canada uses UPS and has for a while. But Robin's concern was that UPS doesn't have a dedicated animal help desk like FedEx.
Uh, right.
So they are fine, right? But they're not equipped the same as FedEx is, and maybe they could be in the future. So I was like, oh,
Right.
so like,
Yeah, I haven't done anything with the UPS either. So
right. Would you are you still like unsure about Morph Market shipping, or would you want to go back to Redline because of the
it depends. If it depends. I mean, I think, I think the thing with the morph market right now is, well, one, the insurance, so if something happens, if it's a snake, if it's a higher end snake, you're not gonna, you know, be covered with the insurance on it. And then, it is kind of nice to have the on time delivery, that kind of holds FedEx accountable because,
Mhm.
if they don't get it there, then they're having to kick that money back. So I still yet to be determined, I guess.
All right. Asks, do you brumate your hognose and gray bands, or do you just
I
turn off the
do.
heat?
I do. Now, being in Oklahoma, it's I don't have a, um, a cooler or anything like that I put them in. Typically, what I do is, matter of fact, we're getting ready to, we're getting ready to go on vacation. So we just fed them. We're going to leave them on heat next couple weeks while we're gone. And then when we get back, we're going to start looking at moving them to brumation. Typically what I do with them is I just take them out and I put them into some smaller containers, and I move them into a closet in one of the rooms that we have that doesn't heat so well. And so we don't get, unfortunately, I don't have anything, I don't get them down to, as cold as I would like to. This year I may try running a window unit AC in the room to try to get them down a little bit lower. But yeah, I do brumate whatever ones I plan on breeding. So
yeah, I wish it was colder here in the winter. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I struggle sometimes to get, I can get them down to about 60 in the closet with the door shut and the vent shut off in the room. I'd like to get them a little bit cooler. Now, I haven't had a lot of issues with fertility. I do know, I saw that, I'm drawing a blank now, Patriot Hogs, he's going to kill me. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Alfred Guerrero. He with Patriot Hogs. He did some studies this past year where he brumated some and didn't brumate others. And I think his final outcome he had with it was he was having more issues with slugs on the ones that weren't brumated. So can you do it without brumating? Sure, but I think it's much better for your eggs to have brumated them.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I think I'm going to wine cooler certain things this year. I need to buy that probably. I should get on that because I put them in the storm cellar.
Is your storm cellar inside or outside?
It is inside, but it's like big.
Is it in the ground or is it above ground?
But I have to wait till the ground gets cold.
See, and that's I've got one in my garage, and it's the same thing. I've thought about doing it, but then Oklahoma's so crazy because we get those days that it gets so dang hot in the winter. So we hemmed and hawed. We're actually getting ready to move too. So I think when we move, I think we're going to replace our refrigerator in the house. So I think the other one's going to go in the garage, and I think it's going to become possibly a thing for snakes to brumate in. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah,
that's what Eric says. Yeah, like it's not as important for, I don't know, corn snakes don't care. They do not care. Not really. No. But like for hognose and the Asian stuff, like I went down there and the Dion's rat snakes were, temp gun 58 or 60. They're running around. They're awake. They're not brumating. They're not even slow tongue flicking. They're just like, this is fine. When are you gonna feed me? And I'm like, yeah, God.
We'll brumate whatever corn snakes included. If nothing else, it gives us a break from feeding for a bit.
That's the best part. I'm thinking about brumating my 2-year-olds, even though I don't want to breed them. 18-month-olds now, they'll eat two. I want a bigger break this year. Oh man.
Yeah. I wish it did get a little bit colder for that purpose. Like I said, hopefully this year, between moving and possibly having a fridge available, I'll be able to get them a little bit cooler. But yeah, it's a nice break for sure.
Aurelio says, and this is about Pomona branding, more than just pure sales for doing a West Coast show. Yeah, 100%. Especially if it's like a show that gets like thousands of people. I'm like, yes, I would probably drive just to be like someone who's been at a show with thousands of people sometimes, because then you're like, I don't know. It's just different. A lot of times I see the same people here at like even shows that are 4 hours away. I'm like, oh no.
Well, and that's, that was part of this. Yeah, she's absolutely right. That's, part of the thing of us expanding out a little bit, even to Oklahoma City or Springfield or Fort Smith. If nothing else, it's just getting your name out there, and so that folks know who you are, and when they do see you on Morph Market or find your reptile or whatever, they know who you are, and uh, more apt to maybe give you some business.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was the problem with maybe me and during the pandemic was that since I was primarily an online only seller, which was fine. I prefer that honestly for like biosecurity reasons. But all of my like contacts ended up being like in a very narrow geographic region. So like I
Right.
know those people and they're cool. We're friends. But then I never really all the people I sold to online, they left a good review, but a lot of them aren't in the hobby anymore. But I might have
Yeah.
done better doing a little bit more further away shows sooner. Maybe, I'm
Right.
not sure.
Yeah. Just like anything else, I think, if you're running a business type thing, you get your name out there, more people that know you. I mean, even if it's, just kind of in passing knowledge, oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Mhm. Then quirky, all the hard questions today. Do you make a profit at most shows or do you just break even? And if you break even, will you keep attending that show?
Most shows we make a profit. It may not be much, but we usually make enough that it covers our table, it covers lunch, it covers gas if it's somewhere, and uh, for us, most of the folks that I know, you know, in my local personal life aren't into reptiles. They don't like snakes. So I do enjoy going to the shows. I do enjoy talking reptiles with my fellow vendors. Even with the customers and stuff. People that come through. I mean, met lots of good folks going to the shows. So would I keep going? I do think I would keep going. Especially I think the local shows even. That's why I like to do them here in the Tulsa area because, even if I don't make a bunch of money doing it, one, I get to talk reptiles with folks. And two, if I don't attend the shows, don't vend the shows, then that's more likely that those local shows are going to go away. If folks don't support them. So even if we don't vend a show, we typically will go to the local shows, and throw our entrance money at it and visit with
Mhm.
folks and stuff there. Just simply for the hobby and wanting to support the hobby itself. So
Mhm. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. God, it's so hard because sometimes I'm like, it's abusive to vendors to I don't know, sell them a bill of goods. Like this show is this and that, and then you're like, well, but they need to compete, and some of them have to be less than average winners, for there to
right,
be winners. And then you're like, well, is that ethical? And then it's like it doesn't really matter if it's ethical, it's capitalism. And so I go round and round a little bit. But then I'm like, if it was more community based, then it wouldn't matter as much. And then people wouldn't get in their head as much. But then the tables shouldn't cost as much if it was a community
right.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword kind of thing. It's nice to have. I mean, obviously, the people that are putting on the shows, have their expenses, but yeah, for me, it's about selling snakes, but it's also about the community of folks
Mhm.
that are around that keeps us going. So
Yeah, it looks like Eric got to your question. One of the Eric brewmates between 45 to 60 degrees with
yeah,
small
see when.
fluctuations.
I'm lucky in my closet. I'm lucky to get them to about 60. Usually it's about 60, 62, 63. And that's why I said I'd like to, be able to get it a little bit lower. This year we may run, if I don't get it, I should have a fridge, but if not, then we may run the window unit in the room trying to get a little lower this year. So
Yeah. Would you ever want to get to the point where you have so many like hognose, you run 4 brumations a year and have 4 or just any colubrids really and have 4
uh,
cycles
no,
and so
I
you
don't
have
think I
fresh
would. And I
babies
say that
happening all the time?
I don't think so. Like I said, my wife and I are both retired, so we
It's
do
supposed to be
travel.
fun.
Yeah, we like to travel some, so it is nice to not have you know stuff to look after constantly. But the flip side to it is I also find myself this year, not so concerned with getting rid of everything that I have from this year right now before we go into it, because now I have some stuff that carry for shows in the beginning of the year. Whereas, if I moved everything, the first part of the year, I wouldn't have any stock for any shows. So,
No, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, the best money to be made is made in the spring. So the people that
yeah,
really try hard to get rid of their inventory before the winter slowdown are missing all
right,
the tax money, frankly.
for
So
sure, for
yeah,
sure.
so
And that's the time that most folks are either pulling out of brumation or just pairing, and so they're not going to have stuff for a while. So it's definitely a lower inventory time.
right. So yeah, the carrying costs for a little colubrid aren't that bad anyway,
No,
to me. So I don't care. It's just like sometimes I'm like, yeah, a lot of these like normal male pentahets, corn snakes, $20. Like I don't need to carry that into the spring necessarily.
sure,
but
sure,
but I don't need to also like wholesale something that I can retail for 250 if in 3 months and maybe 12 19-cent pinkies away it could sell for full retail price.
right,
You
right.
know what I mean?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, it's different if you only have a handful of snakes and but when you buy feeders like we do, the feeders aren't that expensive for baby corn snakes or baby hognose.
No, it's actually really cool. I bought 3,000 pinkies, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, whatever. If that was
Yeah,
3,000 like medium rats for like a ball python collection, I would die.
right. Yeah, for
Die.
sure. For sure. Yeah,
Ah,
they old pinkies and large pinkies aren't expensive.
no, they're fine. Um, so what do you think your percent has changed since you've been selling like online versus shows? Or
Uh, I s- I still sell. Trying to think. I still sell mine's probably close to 50-50
okay.
um, online versus shows. It just kind of depends. I mean, it's this the cheaper stuff then tends to sell better at shows or
Mhm.
locally through Facebook or groups like local groups. Um, but the higher end stuff is definitely online.
Oh yeah, 100%. And rarer stuff. But I've been
Yep.
selling a ton of stuff like off of Morph Market, not Morph Market, Instagram. Like it doesn't even make it to Morph Market. If it's like truly rare or interesting, they're gonna message me. I don't
Yeah,
even need to put it anywhere.
I have to. I'll have to enlist my wife. I'm Instagram stupid, so
Instagram
I
is my favorite right now.
yeah, and I know, like my daughter uses Instagram more than because old people use Facebook.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, my wife does some stuff with Instagram, so I may have to tax her with that responsibility.
Yeah. What I like about it is like I have a website too, and I like to update like my breeders and stuff, but sometimes I'm not good at it. So like it's sort of like a picture book of like my breeding inventory or whatever. So there's like updates and stuff. A lot of times that they're like, what does an adult climax look like? I'm like, I don't know, but let me go to the Instagram and I'll show you an adult. Right here it is. Or they're like,
Right.
and then so it's like very fast way to like picture a book through and like explain your collection. That's what I like about it the very best. So it's like good brand promotion or like show sort of information. Like if you haven't like, like Lee Abbott style printed out cards of all the adults and set it on the deli cups, which
Right.
I
Right.
think about doing that too sometimes, but this is a little bit more like efficient.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
Unless, I mean, it's all you with you, no matter where you are. You don't have those cards everywhere.
No,
Um,
I probably should though. Hello, would you like a corn steak? And you pull a card out of your shirt.
there you go. There you go. Yeah, no, I mean, we have an Instagram set up. I've got my own personal Instagram, but I don't ever use it. So, um, it never, I always struggled with it. So
You did the
sounds like I
aquatic
need to
show,
figure it
right?
out. What's that?
The aquatic reptile show that was in Arkansas.
Oh, the Fort Smith one. Yeah.
How did you like that one? Christina
It
was
was
there.
all right.
Color Me Exotics.
It was good. I got to actually, that made it worthwhile for me completely, was getting to meet Christina with Color Me Exotic,
Aw.
because she actually was able to help me out with Springfield uh, show sales, because for Missouri and all their permitting requirements for hognose, being an out of state breeder, they having talked with the Department of Wildlife, they want me to partner with somebody in Missouri that
Okay.
has a license. So she was more than gracious enough to partner up with me, for allow me to say that I'm partnered up with her for the selling of hognose in Missouri. So
So you have to like get on her permit?
no, it's
No.
no, it's
Okay.
it's it sounds all. I mean, it sounds like just a hokey deal. And even talking with the legal folks in the Department of Wildlife, they weren't really sure. It seemed like no, it was they can't come and inspect my facility because I'm out of state. So they wouldn't do that. I'm licensed in Oklahoma, so I'm good there. They just, the way, from talking with them, the way that the law interprets is that you're supposed to be affiliated, I guess, with somebody. An out of state person selling native snakes is supposed to be affiliated with somebody that is in state that is licensed. So
Okay.
basically, if the Department of Wildlife Conservation comes to the show and says, you're selling these hognose, are you licensed for them? I say, I'm out of Oklahoma. Here's my Oklahoma license that shows that I'm working with Color Me Exotics. Here's their permit number.
All right.
And then we're good. So
You didn't buy any fish?
I did not. I did not. I had fish at one point in time, and I decided that they're better to look at in the tank at somewhere else. So
And then any thoughts about maybe vending or attending the Kansas All American Plant and Reptile Expo?
I've
They're
seen
the
I've seen the ads for that on Facebook. I don't know. Is that the one that's up near Wichita?
No, it's not like the captive bred one. It's like I think it is in Wichita though. There's an old one there, like a 30-year-old show that's like all captive bred. This one is brand new
Huh. I,
and
I've seen the ad. That's about the extent of it. I may have to. When is it?
December 7th.
Nope, I
I
can't.
did
I'll be
because
doing
of the
another.
like show
Oh,
me
show me. Yeah.
debacle. I called Nick yesterday. I'm like, Nicholas, get me into the show. And he's like, okay. I'm like, thank you. So
Huh. I'll have to look at that.
yeah, I did the one in Denver and it was fantastic. Perfect.
Really
Beautiful.
interesting.
Polite,
Okay.
clean, orderly. So I was like, and I was like, I'll do all of them. I don't even care if I don't make any money because it's like Nice.
Yeah,
But
I'll have to take a
I
look at
already
that.
booked that one in December, and I was like, oh, so you could try it if you want.
Yeah, I may take a look at that. So that would put me at shows 3 weekends in a row. So that'd be busy
Yeah, maybe not. I
December.
don't know. That's hard. I did that this fall. That's hard,
Yeah,
especially since it's so far away.
well, and the December, I think it's what 14th and 15th. We're doing the Tulsa show, the Cold Blooded, and then the next day we're doing the Springfield show up in Springfield, Missouri. So
It's a lot. That would be a lot.
it is. It is.
Yeah. I I so like the Dallas is becoming an Aurelio brings up that the SoCal reptiles are birds and fish, and Dallas is now a pet show. Do you have
I
any
saw
thoughts
that.
on the petification of reptile shows?
I uh, I mean, I like the reptiles. I like the reptile shows. Um, I kind of understand where they're coming from with it, just because, I mean, obviously those shows are, trying to make money as well. I don't know. I guess I'm all right with it. I think that, they're just trying to draw in more folks. I think if you, have the cute, fluffy, furry things that everybody loves, that you'll get those folks in the door. I mean, hopefully it'll translate into, like you said earlier, with different expos going on at the same time. Maybe you'll get some traffic in, from the people that came to see the cute fuzzy furry things, and they'll come in and take a look and maybe open some eyes. So I mean, I think it, I can see the good side to it possibly.
Have you ever
To put,
vended next to a pig?
no, I have not, but I have vended next to a fox. Have you done that?
I would be into that though.
Until you smell them.
Oh, dang it.
No, they're the cutest things, but man, their urine is pretty foul.
Man. So in Dallas, it's in a separate building. Well, same building, different room. So like, I'm
Right.
like, great. When it was all mixed in, I've been next to lots of things. I'm like, I don't really want to be here right now.
Oh, I could definitely see that. If they keep them separate, that would be, ideal. But yeah, no, I
Even
wouldn't want
sometimes
to
being
bend.
next to rats, like a live rat vendor, it's just a lot to have like human sweat, rat pee,
Right.
all collected together in a stuffy, sort of humid
Right.
reptile show.
For sure.
Uh, Today's the last day to pay for tables. Is it? I don't know. I bet if you ask nicely, you could get a table if you wanted one. But if you don't, it's one. The next one's May 23rd. I like it because they have it's plants and reptiles. So it's like all these like lovely aesthetic plant vendors, and then some bug vendors and some art vendors and some reptiles. So it's like clean and quiet. There's no screaming pigs, but it's still different.
Yeah. No, we get done, I'll take a look at it and see for sure.
Yeah. And they're all good people and very polite and wholesome. So
And you said this was a new show here for the
mhm,
Kansas?
mhm. I did it in Denver. It had its second Denver in the fall, and it had its first Charlotte, North Carolina in the fall, and this is the first Kansas.
Okay.
So yeah. Check it out. And if anybody's like in the area and just wants to go see how it gets run, swing by. Because like we're all kind of close enough to make a weekend out of it. Because this one is the conference center is in the hotel. So it's kind of like a Tinley or something. So you could like stay in the hotel and come down to
Gotcha.
the show over and over again if you wanted to make like a getaway, weekend away with the fam. So that
There
part's
you go.
did we do it? Anything else? What do you have available right now on Wharf Market?
Right now I have mostly hogs on Morph Market. I need to update my corns. I've got some corns that are getting ready. Some scaleless, some aneries. I have a snow, an A-male. Hogs, I got mostly albinos, condas and super condas. I have a couple mochas. I have a lavender. I think I have one lavender. I have a moon dust. And then I have a couple Arctics, I think, on there. So
very cool. All right, so everybody check them out on. Are you on Find Your Reptile or Husbandry Pro?
I am not.
Or...
I have not. I don't have a store set up on Find Your Reptile. I'm just on the Morph Market right now, and then you know, our Facebook page. I'll post updates on there usually too. So
I'm scared of Facebook. All right, thank you so much, Tom. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully, I see you somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully we'll cross paths here shortly. So
probably Shawnee.
Yeah, probably.
Well, you're on the wait list, right?
Yeah, wait list.
Yeah,
but
that one always.
Even if we don't get there, we'll get on there for vending. We'll be there. So.
Yeah, that one it's a bad show, hard show. I don't know. Like people skip that one a lot. It feels like so people get in pretty quickly. I think you got it. All right. Yep. See you soon. Thanks, chat. Thanks for coming by and saying hi. I'll see you guys on Sunday for the member live. We have a spicy topic. It's a secret spicy topic. All right. Say bye. Bye.
Bye.